Example 1. Graph x plus 3 here plus y minus 2. Okay, how to graph this one? The first step, we need to write down the center and radius. Okay, so H, K, and R. Okay, so I give you guys 1 minute, write down the H, K, and R. Okay, so what is H? H is opposite this guy, right? -3. K is opposite this guy, is 2. What is R? 4. Good job. R squared equals 16. So R equals 4, right? So now we can draw the circle. Let's take a look. So first of all, we can draw the coordinate system. Okay, and we know the center is -3 and 2. -3 and 2. And here, right? Now we have radius, that is 4. So that means what? Forward 4 units. Okay, move forward 4 units. Here, backward 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The second point is here. Upward 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4 is here. Downward 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got 4 points, right? Because the radius is 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 4 points, right? 4 points. You can connect all these 4 points. That's it. That's the circle, right? That's the circle. Question.
Why K equal 2 and the biggest?
Why K equals 2?
It's positive. The problem is negative.
Because it's opposite, right? I think you guys are trick. How to find HK? H because here is a positive, so the opposite should be -3. Here's negative, so opposite should be 2, right? That's what we learned from last class. That's a trick. Okay? And for the R is R squared equals 16. So that means R equals 4. Okay, now example 2. I will let you guys try it. Graph try this one for me. The first step, you need to write down the H, K, R, and after you find the center and the radius, then you can draw the total. Then I think most of that should be very good. So let me write down the answer on board. H, K, and R, right? H is -1, K is -1, R equals 1, right? I think that I shouldn't have any kind of issue with H, K, R, right? So that's the first step. In the second step, you can draw the coordinates. Okay, and the first step you need to find the center is here. And the forward 1 unit is here, backward 1 unit is here, upward 1 unit should be here, downward unit 1 unit is here. You find 4 points, you connect all of them. Right? That's it. That's a circle. Right? That's the circle. Okay, so that's the one tough one, one very tough thing we needed to understand. Example 3, how to find the intercepts. Find the intercepts for the circle x plus 3 square y minus 2 square equals 16. Okay, find the intercept of this guy. So how to find the intercept of this guy? Do you guys still remember how to find the x-intercept? Do you guys still remember how to find the x-intercept? We let what? Yeah, the x equals, yeah, y equals 0, right? And let y equals 0, right? That's the strategy. In order to find the x-intercepts, we let y equals 0. So that means we plug in y equals 0 for this circle equation. We have right? We plug in 0 here. Okay, plug in 0 here. Okay, now we're gonna simplify it. And for this guy, we can write it as x plus 3 times x plus 3, right? X plus 3 squared is equivalent to x plus 3 times x plus 3. Now you can do the distribution. Distribution. So we're gonna get x times x, x times 3, 3 times x, 3 times 3. And for the second term, -2 squared gonna be a +4, right? -2 times -2 gonna be a +4. Okay, we can simplify it, right? We can simplify it. Here, x squared, 3x, 3x, 6x. Here's a 9, 9 plus 4, 13, right? Okay, and I think the right-hand side is 16. We can subtract 16 for both sides. We're gonna get this guy, right? Now we simplify it. And we got this one. Do you know how to solve this guy? Do you know how to solve this guy? Good job. You still remember it. Quadratic formula, right? How many steps?
3 steps.
3 steps, right? Good job. Good job. You still remember it. I'm so happy. Okay, so in order to solve this guy, we have 3 steps. Let me solve it. The first step, A, B, C. And the b squared minus 4ac. Plug in a is 1, -3. 36 plus 12 equals 48. Greater than 0, that means 2 roots. 2 roots. Third, plug in the quadratic formula. Right? And b is 6. A is 1, right? Here, how to simplify this radical number? We can use factoring method. Okay, so I can write down here how to factor the 48. Because it's even number, you can divide by 2. It's 24. 24 is even number. You can write down is 2 times 12. 12 is even number. 2 times 6. 6 is even number. Right. So basically, we have 2 repetitions, right? 2 repetitions, and the factor is 2 and 2, right? So we can simplify this guy as what? 6 and 2, 2. We have 2 times 2, right? Because here we pick 1, 2. Here we pick 1, 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4. So it's 4 square root of 3, right? The left one is 3. Factory method. If you don't know the factory method to simplify the radical number, you can check my lecture video on Moodle. I think I posted here, right? It's here, how algebra. Yeah, how to yes, how to find a square root using the factory method. Okay, just go ahead and check it. I think it's not too hard at all. So just watch it, and that's a very basic. Okay, and I assume most of you guys should learn it from your high school. Okay, so the first root is this guy, right? And we can simplify it because here is even number, here's even number. So -6 divided by 2 is -3, -4 divided by 2 is -2. And the x2 we will get -3 plus -3 plus 2 square root of 3 because here's a plus, right? Plus, so you can simplify it and you're gonna get this guy. Okay. Okay, now it's time for us find the y-intercept. We find the x-intercept, right? Now we need to find the y-intercept. Y-intercept, we let x equals 0, right? X equals 0. So we plug in x equals 0 here. We will get what? 0 plus 3 is very similar like we did before for the x. Here we can simplify it, right? And for this guy is 1 times minus 2 times 1 minus 2. And this guy should be a 9, right? So distribution -2 times -2 equals 16. Okay, distribution. Now we can simplify it. So here y squared, here's -2y, -2y, -4y. -2 times -2 is 4. Right? 4 plus 9 is 13. Right? And then subtract 16 for both sides. Right? We will get. Okay, how to solve this guy? Do you know how to solve this guy? Quadratic formula again, right? So variable is y. So 3 steps. B squared minus 4ac. Okay, plug in. 16 plus 12, 28. Greater than 0. 2 roots. Right? 2 roots. Now, third. Plug in. Or should it be 1? Right? Because the variable is 1. B is -4 plus -28 times 8. Here's again how to simplify the radical number 28. 28 can be written as even number 2 times 14. 14 is even number 2 times 7. Right? And now you have a repetition 2, right? We'll pick 1, 2, and left 7. Right? We have two solutions. One is this guy, right? And because he has even number, so we can divide by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is cancel out. Similar for this guy, right? You can write down this guy is pass. Okay, pass. Okay, now I will give you guys a chance to find the intercept for this guy. I give you guys 4 or 5 minutes. 4 or 5 minutes, okay? Try it by yourself. The idea is very simple. We want to find the x-intercept, y equals 0. If we want to find y-intercept, we let the x equal 0. And the next work is about quadratic formula. After you simplify the equation, you will find out that it is quadratic equation. So basically you do the what? You solve the quadratic equation twice. One for the x, the other one is for the y. You solve the quadratic equation twice. And I hope through this example, you guys have can memorize the quadratic formula. Okay. So after 2 or 3 years later, you still remember it. Okay. Okay, let me solve it. Okay, on board. So the idea is simple. We let x-intercept. We let y equals 0, right? Plug in and the x plus 1 square should be x plus 1 times x plus 1, right? Distribution. One times 1. And this guy should be 1 square should be 1. Now you can find x squared, x should be 2x. Here's a 1, here's a 1, 2, right? Oh, okay, interesting. Here's 2x, here's a 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so now you can get what? Subtract the 2 for both sides. Right? Subtract the 2 for both sides. You're gonna get x squared plus 2x equals 0. Okay, how to solve this one? Any idea? Use what? What kind of method we can use? Of course, you can use quadratic formula, right? So besides the quadratic formula, what else we can use to solve it? What kind of method? We've learned the 3 methods, right? Factory method, right? Good job. You remember it. Okay, so factor 1x, you're gonna get this guy, right? So factory method. So x equals 0. And the second root is what? You're gonna get x equals -2, right? So we have 2 roots. One is 0, one is -2. So we have 2 x-intercept, 1, 0, and x equals -2. Okay. Now for the y-intercept, y-intercept will let x equals 0, right? We let x equal 0, we plug in. We plug in x equals 0 here. And you're gonna get what? You will get 0 plus 1 square equals 2, right? Equals 2. Well, very similar like we did before. Here's y plus 1 times y plus 1. And this guy is 1. Distribution. Now y times y is y squared. Y times 1y, 1y, 2y. 1 plus 1, here's a 1 times 1, okay? 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Right? So basically, it's very similar. We're gonna subtract the 2 for both sides. You will get this guy, right? Now, factoring method again. Right? It's very similar. So y equals 0. The other one, you will get y equals -2, right? -2. Does that make sense? So everything boils down to the quadratic equation. How to solve the quadratic equation? We have 3 methods: factoring methods, quadratic formula, square root methods. Okay, 3 methods that we done before. Okay. Okay, we are done with the circle equation. And this is the hardest part. Okay, I think that's the hardest part because we need to simplify the circle equation to quadratic equation in order to find the intercepts, right? That's the hardest part, I think. However, if you practice the quadratic formula a lot, you shouldn't treat this one is very difficult, okay? Now, chapter 3. Functions and graphs. And their graphs. Definition. Let x and y be two non-empty sets. A function from x into y is a relation that associates with each element of x exactly one element y. Okay, let's take a look at the definition of function. What's the definition of function? A function is a relation. A relation that associates with each element of x exactly one element y. So each element have one element in y. Now I'm gonna draw a graph, okay? For example, that is x set. This is y set. Okay. So the point is each element I use the point in x. I use the point, okay? And each element in y, I use the point here. Right? And each element will have one element in y. So for example, here, one element in x, we have one element in y, corresponding to one element in y. For example, here, each element in x correspond to one element in y. And here, each element in x corresponding to is corresponding to one element in y. Okay, so that's a definition. That's a definition. Okay. Now let's take a look. Some examples. Okay. Here's a person. Here's a phone number. Then here's more Pauline, Phoebe. Okay, we have the following relationship. So, is that a function or not? Can you guess? Good job. Based on definition, I tell you here, right? One x should be a one y. Okay, one x, one y. And here, we can see Pauline has two cell phone numbers. So that means 1x, 2y. Does that make sense? Because according definition should be exactly 1. Okay, so 1x should be 1x, 1y, 1x, 1y. Okay, 1y can be multiple x. Okay, 1y can be multiple x, but here, according to definition, 1x should be 1y, and here 1x, 2y. So that is not function. Does that make sense? Okay, 1x, 1y. Okay, 1x, 1y. 1y can be 2x, 3x. Okay, but the 1x should be 1y. Make sense? No. Animal. Life expectancy. Dog, duck, kangaroo, rabbit. Oh. Okay. So now, is that a function or not?
Yes.
Yes, agree. Y can be 2, right? So 1x, 1y, 1x, 1y, 1x, 1y, 1x, 1y. So it's a function. That's it, right? That's it. Or you can change it. You change everything like that. I can write down like that. So for example, if I have multiple elements, is that still a function or not?
Yes.
Yes, because 1x, 1y, 1x, 1y, 1x, 1y. Also here, 1y, there's no x here, right? But it still is a function. We only restrict the x, right? 1x, 1y, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, good. That's a function. Okay, now let's continue. The set X is called the domain of function. The set Y is called the range of the function. Okay, now let's take a look at the previous example. What is the domain for this guy? Although this guy is not a function, right? Okay, let's check this one. What is the domain for this guy? Basically, that is a combination of all these elements. So, domain for this guy is dog, duck, kangaroo, and a rabbit. Okay, that's the domain. And the range is what? Is the number or the elements in Y. You can put like that. from the smallest to the largest, okay? From the smallest to the largest, that's a range. And the domain is a set. Okay, be careful. Domain is a set, so that's the reason I use the bracket. I use the bracket because the domain is a set. Okay, so I use the bracket. Right? Don't write down the domain like that. Dot kangaroo rabbit without bracket. That is wrong. Okay, because domain is a set. Okay, similar for the range. Range is a set, so you need to use the brackets. Okay. Now let's take a look. Take a look example. That is more specific example. For each relation, state the domain and range. Then determine whether the relation is a function. Okay, and the first one is 1, 4, 3, 5, 3, 6, and 4, 7. So first of all, giving this points or coordinate, right? Coordinate, we have a pair of coordinate. So basically, you will put all of them in the x set and the y set. X set and the y set. So for this point, we have x coordinate is 1. X for the second point, we have x coordinate is 2. Here's a 3. Here's a 4, right? Now we have y coordinates. Y coordinate, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Y coordinates. Now, as we can see, 1, 2 to 4, from 1 to 4. So 1 to 4, 2 to 5, from 3 to 2, 6, from 4 to 7, right? From 7 to 7. So you draw the graph and you can see more clearly. So first question is about the domain. Right? That should be very easy. All the elements. How about the range? All of them, right? Now, whether this guy is a function or not. Yes or no? Yes, that's a function, right? Yes, it's a function. Now I will give you guys a second one. Let you guys try it. Try it by yourself. Okay, let me write down the answer on board. So the first step, you need to draw the graph, x and y, right? X set is about x coordinate. X coordinate is 1, 2, 3, 6. And about the y coordinate is here, right? Y coordinate is here. Since here we have a repetition. For the repetition, we only pick one. Okay, 4. Here's 2 4s. We only pick one. Okay, for the repetition, we only pick one. That's the rule. Now, 1 to 4, 2 to 4, 3 to 5, 6 to 10. So here, domain gonna be 1, 2, 3, 6, and a range from 4, 5, 10. Okay. Now the question is that guy a function or not? Yes, of course. Now the last one. Okay, let me write down the answer on board. X set, Y set. X set should be the element from the X coordinate. Okay, so here we have 2, -3, right? We pick one. Here's a -2, 0, 1. And the Y is 9, 4, 0, 1, 8, right? 9, 4, 0, 1, 8. Okay, so here is -3, 9 from -3, 9, -2, 4, 0 to 0, 1 to 1, -3 to 8, -3 to 8. Right? Now, domain. The combination of all these elements. And the range, how to write down the range. Okay, the rule is here. Always write down from the smallest to the largest. So here is 0, 1, 4, 8, 9. Okay, in your homework, follow this format. Write down the number from smallest to the largest, similar to the X domain. Okay, always write down from the smallest to the largest. Okay, if you don't write down as this order, you probably will not get any credit from your homework problem. Okay, does that make sense? So is that a function or not? No, because 1x, 2y. That's it. Okay, I wrap it up today's class here. Thank you for coming. Before you leave, please write down your signature.